Everyone. I'm Florence Vacation Engineering. It is my privilege to welcome each one of you to Daily Beginnings, an initiative by SA Engineering College, thoughtfully designed to guide aspiring engineers as they take their first steps into the world of engineering. SA Engineering College, named in honor of Srimati Sakuntala Ammal, the matriarch of the institution, was established by the Dharmanaidu Educational and Charitable Trust during the year 1998 to 1999. Since its inception, the institution has remained committed to providing quality technical education while nurturing competent innovative innovation and strong industry-oriented approach to education engineering. Dr. Tapas Babu sir, whose leadership continues to inspire students to strive for excellence. The transition from school to engineering college marks the beginning of an exciting new chapter. It is a journey filled with opportunities to learn, innovate, through determination to dream bigger and achieve their goals. Her journey beautifully reflects today's theme and reminds us that confidence, continuous learning, and hard work can take us beyond boundaries and open doors to limitless opportunities. Ma'am, we are truly honored to have you with us today. Without further delay, I request Ms. Mrudula Gupta to kindly address the gathering. Thank you, ma'am. The platform is now yours.
Thank you so much for your kind words. Hello, everybody. This is Mrudula. Firstly, I would like to thank Mohan sir for giving me this opportunity to be a presenter today. Uh, so I'll begin sharing my screen. If you can just let me know if you're able to see the screen or
Yes,
not.
ma'am. It's visible.
You can see the screen, right? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
That's good. Thanks. Thank you all for attending the session. Welcome, especially welcome you all to the session today. I am really happy to be a part of this series where SA Engineering College is trying to motivate the young engineers, aspiring engineers to be what they want to be. And this session is exactly all about being that, being fearless. In this session, I'd like to share a little small portion of my journey, reflect how I became fearless and reflected on my professional career, and maybe a little about also letting you realize what you need in your life, in your career to keep moving forward fearlessly and effortlessly. Without further ado, I would like to impose the first question. What are the thoughts you have, or what is something that scares you or has scared you most when it comes to career, when it comes to professional development? What is something that has scared you the most? Can anybody or voluntarily tell me?
The unsurety whether we'll succeed in the particular career or not.
That was something I had. That was something, definitely something I had during the first day of my college. Yeah, I go with that. I agree with that. That brings me to why important is this question to be asked? Why do we need to know the answer to this question? So first, as you said, the uncertainty, or just to be aware of your situation. The purpose of this question is to understand that you know what your potential challenge or what your potential um, obstacle might be. What you have to do is to be prepared for the next step is to get prepared for this obstacle. So when I was put into engineering, I was not aware of what electrical engineering. I have my background in electrical engineering as a bachelor's and electrical engineering in my master's. So I had this question. I never had this question, or I was never aware of what would be the future of me as an electrical engineer at very early in my career. But I'm sure that I was able to figure it out and be prepared for the situations and the obstacles that were on my way, which made it more easier and more, I wouldn't say easier. Easier is going to be a very vague word, but I was aware and I was prepared for all of these challenges. I knew there was going to be some days when I'm going to when I'm just going to not be there or meet the limits, not exceed my expectations or anybody's expectations, might hurt somebody doing something, but I was prepared for all of that. Once I was aware of my situation, I prepared myself for all the situations. And the next thing is to improve. How do you just preparation or realizing what your potential challenge is doesn't solve anything. Like you are definitely 20-30% ahead of a lot of people out there, but you need to improve a skill set, you need to improve yourselves and build the resilience to achieve or to overcome that particular obstacle in your life. What I mean by saying this is, let's say you have a subject that is bothering you a lot, that is just not I'll say that is something which you're facing a lot of difficulty in achieving a particular grade. What you do is you try to dedicate at least 1 hour a day or a week to begin with, and then improve yourself in that subject throughout the semester. I know you're going to realize it a little late, but still, it's not so far. It's never too late to start something new, right? And then the fourth most important is to keep moving. Keep moving, I mean, irrespective of what kind of obstacle you're facing, irrespective of what kind of challenge it is, irrespective of how draining it is, you need to show consistency. Keep moving means consistency. Just doing something overnight or just doing something once in a blue moon does not change anything. Just like your gym, you see, you look at the bodybuilders. They train for about 6 to 8 months to be in a desired muscle they want, but the moment they stop doing it, they start losing it. Consistency is the key. So what does all this knowing, being aware, being prepared, improving consistently, moving forward, kind of brings you? What does that get to you? It gives you confidence. It gives you it gives you a lot of confidence. It gives you a lot of strength to gain what you want to. Let's say the subject I was talking about previously, you were very scared of that, you were very afraid of that subject, you did not want to touch it, but somehow you try to analyze everything, and then you build a schedule or a structured routine for that particular subject to nail it or to at least crack it, right? And you go one step, and one day you look behind and you've already climbed 95 steps. Doesn't matter if you're going to climb all the next 5 steps, but what you've achieved so far gives you the confidence and the strength to keep moving forward. That is what this question answers. I would like everybody during this session or after the session, just write down take a pen and a paper, not on your phone, not on your iPad, laptops, or anything else, but just take a pen and paper. Write what scared you the most. Write what are the situations that might help you, that you have to be aware of. What would be the strategy for you to cross that situation, and how are you going to plan? It could be a one time thing, it could be a process, or it could be many months, it could be anything. But you write down and you at least will know that there is one thing you have solved. It gives you a lot of contentment, a lot of happiness, just to realize it. I've done it and it worked for me. So that is why I'm suggesting you to do that too. Moving on, so that question kind of interprets somewhere in between what I'm going to speak right now. It's my early career. What actually brought me to the world of engineering. So as a kid, I always remember this, and my mom and dad always keep saying that you never wanted to be an engineer or a doctor. You said you would always be somebody other than an engineer or a doctor. Look where I am today. Landed up doing my not just my bachelor's but also my master's, and into Powerline construction. I've been an engineer. I've been a core electrical engineer. That's the irony of life. So, how was I brought to this? I am pretty sure during my counseling sessions to enter into an engineering college, my rank was pretty high, and I did not get to choose. I did not have like so many options to choose between the courses, like how you have CSE, EC, EEE, and all of that. I did not have a lot of choices. And because of the college I wanted to get in, I only had EEE as my option, electrical and electronic engineering. So I chose it. It was not my choice, but I had to choose it. So, and then some one semester down the lane, I realized I had Python in my first semester, and that's when I realized that, oh God, that was a good decision that I did not take any coding related subjects like core CSE or some ECE. I don't. I was glad that I did not take. I realized that I was not into coding a lot. I understand that there's a lot of coding involved these days with electrical engineering as well, but not to an extent where a software engineer is doing. I'm happy with the electrical coding. So that's when I realized, okay, now I know that I wasn't into CSE or I wasn't into coding, but what am I actually into? Am I into electrical engineering? I had this doubt haunted me for about a month. And luckily that's when COVID actually hit, and then I started thinking a lot about this. And that's when the turning point came. Now, instead of thinking where my interest is in, I thought, why not I put interest in what I've already chosen for myself? I have chosen electrical engineering because I wanted to be into that college. But what if I wanted to do electrical engineering? And since it was already like in the very initial stage of my bachelor's, which was I was just entering into my second semester, that turning point, that transitioning point was very keen, and it played a very crucial role moving forward. So, and then I I I started to learn a lot about electrical engineering. What is electrical engineering? What are the opportunities? Everything about electrical engineering. And then I realized in the way that not just knowing, but you should also put some efforts in doing the subject, in learning the subject. Just knowing wouldn't do anything. You could know a lot of things, but learning is what uh, I would say is should be the topmost priority for anybody in life. You know a lot of things. You know about politics, you know about what's happening in the world, you know about cricket, you know about a lot of things. But what do you want to learn? It's not about what you want to know, it's about what you want to learn. So, is your learning leading you to a place where you want to be? Or is it going to be a drawback to the place where you want to be? That is something you have to decide. That's something I decided too. So, during that period, I thought I should be doing my master's. And then I decided I should be coming to Canada and I should be coming to the University of Alberta and I should be doing my master's. That's it. That is what. So, I think somewhere this decision was also another turning point of me developing interest in electrical engineering. I'll tell you how. When I was searching a lot about the University of Alberta and how is the application process, it's definitely a lot different than what we have back home, what we have in India at the moment. So I tried to research a lot and lot and lot about this particular university, and that's when I came to know that this university has a 4 GPA system, 4 points GPA system, and the minimum requirement was somewhere around 3.6 or 3.7. That was what they were wanting, like the merit of the merit students is what they were wanting to enter into this university. And then since I was already done around about two of my semesters, I had 2 semesters marks with me, and then I tried to calculate this semester marks into 4 points GPA. And that's when I realized that I'm not that bad at that GPA. I was about 3.75, which still had very good chances if I was making it to the most during the next 3 years in my bachelor's. So what I did was I tried hard, I worked hard. I It would be really surprising if I tell you right now that my most favorite period of every semester was the 1 month before exams. People call me bookworm. Teachers and professors took my notes, which I personally prepared for myself, took my notes, shared that with the entire classes or the entire department. So I started waking up 4 in the morning, at 9 in the night, and between 4 a.m. and 9 p.m. I had a set routine. I had I had time to study, I had time to read, I had time to do my chores. I was living in a hostel, time for my parents, obviously family, friends. Friends, I definitely did cut down a lot of time. So I planned everything, and I it was not something I learned over the night, or as I was mentioning earlier, I planned. Since the semester exams is 1 month ahead and you get a notification 1 month ahead, so I started preparing for the exam. That's how I what did I embrace the most about this turning point was that I set a strategy for myself to achieve something that would result in the best interest of mine, that would give me the result that I wanted to achieve one dream of mine. A small dream, but very keen, very, very, very big one for me. And that's how the journey of being this fearless started. So since it was a new country, I was searching about it a lot online, and Canada was not at its peak that time, and people were not really choosing Canada, especially from the state I come from. People mostly choose to go either to the US or the UK, but nobody was actually focusing on Canada. So I moved to a state, or I moved to a country which was new, where I don't have any family members, no friends, nothing. I had to prepare myself for every single challenge I was going to face during this journey, right from the beginning of the application process. I had to get my passports done, I had to give my IELTS, I had to give my applications, then get an approval, bank loans, oh, the visa, all of it is a chaos. Then booking your final ticket. That's biggest chaos. It isn't easy. So over the period of time, I tried to develop my skills and start a journey which would help me in Canada way before I came to Canada. I started doing things on my own. I started facing problems. I started I solved a lot of issues during this journey that made me fearless. I took bold decisions. I was rejected a bank loan, which was the key point of me coming to Canada, but I did not give up. I approached another bank. I approached another bank. So this is something I want everybody to to understand, that one door closes, there's another door that opens. You you just need to take that time and energy, put that effort in finding the next door. That if that's not your door, there would be another door. There's always a door that is open for you if you are willing to search for the door. Coming to the last question, who helped me whom I am today? I think this question I would like to answer it during towards the towards mid end of the session, uh, because this is indirectly related or directly related to the upcoming slides, the upcoming presentation. So I would move forward. And yes, obviously, I was talking a lot about Canada, coming to Canada, moving to Canada, a lot. This dream. Is it possible to achieve dreams? What do you all say? Do you think that dreams are achievable? you could drop a comment. Just say yes, no. What do you think about these dreams? Do you think you can achieve them? Do you think you can't achieve them? Do you think there's a lot of challenges? What do you think? That's it. Yes, you can achieve your dreams. I see that. I see that. That's the positive note. Uh, why I'm asking this question is a lot of us have a constant fear behind a constant, I'll say, a thought that keeps running in your mind on and on and on. And we Indians, we believe that sharing our dream to somebody might be a pause for that dream. It might affect our dream moving forward. I totally agree in the beliefs, and I totally agree with not sharing it with a lot of people. But what you have to do is to share it at least with your loved ones or your family, your friends, your close friends, your tight knits, so that you know that there is a possibility to achieve it. You understand that there is possibility to achieve this particular goal. Now, coming to that, have I achieved my dream yet? Maybe, partially. Partially, yes. I've definitely achieved the dream of coming to Canada, the dream of finishing my graduation at the University of Alberta, the dream of getting a job 3 months after my graduation, the dream of getting my iron ring, the dream of getting my professional license, volunteering. I've done a lot that I did not do in India. I've definitely achieved partial, a lot of it, but there's a lot more to achieve. What at what cost does this achievement comes? So I would put it this way: by cost, I don't mean financially. I don't mean the money you put in everything. Cost is managing your house chores. After I moved to Canada, I had to manage house chores, university classes, my presentations, my assignments, my part-time job. I had to I had to constantly let my parents know that I'm safe, happy, secure, maintain the relationships with my old friends, maintain relationships with my family. There's a lot. It was a lot of responsibilities that came along the way, which I did realize that would be there, which I did prepare for, but it would be a little tiring sometimes. It's okay. It is a little tiring sometimes. It is a little annoying, a little frustrating. All of that is okay. All of that is fine because that is the cost of achieving your dreams. Sometimes you might lose friends. Sometimes you might you might just face a failure. It's just a learning experience again. So this is what the actual cost of achieving your goal is. I don't want you to think that achieving your goal has to come with a financial aspect. Achieving your goal will come with a lot, way more aspects than just being financial. Of course, financials play a very vital role, but after that, it's your mental health, your physical health, and a lot of things that come down the lane. So you also have to be prepared for that. And then amidst all of these chores, all of this happening for 2 years back to back, 4 semesters, I was doing my master's, and then 3 months of not having a full-time role is not easy. It's tough in a country. You're not working. You don't know when you're going to get work. Do I? It's not easy. Did I ever regret about doing all of this or any of this dream? No. A simple, straight answer is no. You never want to regret about the decisions you made or the dream you want to achieve. Never regret. Never ever regret a decision. Or it might be a selfish choice. It might be a planned choice. It could be anything. If you're giving up your sleep, if you're giving up your family time, if you're giving up your friends' time, it's okay. You could pay back for it at some other point in your life, but achieving your goal, like if let's say, according to my dream, I wanted to get graduated first. What if I was partying with my friends? What if I was going to movies? What if I was just traveling, making nothing at my university, making no progress? That wouldn't lead me where I am today. It is definitely important that you have small fun in life, but it is more important that you take the right decision. Sometimes it's okay. I understand not all the times you achieve what you want to. Sometimes, you just have to take another route and another route to achieve the goal. It's okay. And how do you keep moving forward during these times? These are very crucial, very tough. Just saying them, I'm just saying them at this point, but I have been through it for 2 years, and it wasn't easy. I'll tell you, it wasn't easy. But there wasn't a day that I regretted or I did not want to do this. There was always a day I always wanted more of this, so that when I achieve something, when I get the dream, when I take my graduation certificate, all of that made sense. All the struggles, all the hardships, all the failures, everything made a lot of sense, more and more sense. That's when you feel content. That's when you feel happy, the satisfaction that comes out of your hard work, efforts, dreams. That is what that is what is paying off you after your tough times. So you just need to take your time, be there, be in the moment, and then try to keep moving forward, even a little, step by step, step by step. Just keep moving forward so that you're not stopped and you're not stuck. With that, I would come to the very next and very important topic, which is learning experiences. I initially named this slide to be failure, but I think I felt the word would be too not very optimistic, so I turned it to be learning experiences. Yes, why not say a failure as a learning experiences? What exactly is a learning experience? If you can drop in the chat, or if somebody can talk and let me know if you have a situation, if you had a learning experience.
When we go through difficulties, we are often led to a point where we have to choose between stuff, and those choices either give us a better position, or they bring us to a worse position. And in the worst position, we are actually taught how to deal with life, how to not give up, and it boosts something in us to make better choices, and teaches us that some choices have to be thought a little bit more, and given a little bit more consideration, and how to make better choices in life, and deal with a lot of stuff that life puts with us.
Exactly. Very well said. Very well said. Uh, this is this is exactly what I wanted to say, but thank you so much. I wanted to listen. Sorry. So I would share a situation, again, from when I moved to Canada for the very first semester. I failed in a subject. We take 3 courses a term, and I failed one course. That was I was top 10 amongst the department of electrical engineering in my college. I came out as a top 10 student. And after coming to Canada, I suddenly faced a failure. I did not know how to handle it. I did not know how to take it. I did not know how to react to the situation. I just went blank. How does that situation look like? It is very hard for you to even imagine, especially after having a very good course background, being a top 10 student. it's very, very hard and very, very difficult for you to take that situation. But what I did after that makes more impact on my future decisions. So what happened in that situation was I failed a subject, and for about a week I was just in a trance, knowing what has happened, what is happening. I did not know anything. I was dull, quiet, and all of that. But then what I did was I was going back. I was taking, I was thinking, if I failed at this point, it is again not an overnight thing that has happened. There was a series of decisions that I've taken which has led to this circumstance. I'll say, I don't want to repeat that words again. So to this circumstance, right? So would have done what should I have done in the past that would have made this a better day for me? I cannot go change in the past, but I what I can do is be ready for the future. Do not make that mistake. Or if that mistake ever occurs again, I know what exactly I need to be doing. Often we think that, oh, this is just going to be a 5% of the problem, or this is, and let's say we're studying for a subject, and then we think, oh, this particular topic is kind of giving me some inconvenience, so I'm just going to leave this topic. And then you move to another one, you feel the same thing, but you read 10% of the topic. Like that, you kind of, it is a series of decisions. Like you make 5%, 10%, 15%. You keep leaving, and this accumulates to a learning experience. You what has to change afterwards is that you have to learn what you've done, what has led, what needs to be changed for the future. How does this affect your self-esteem, and how worst is it at your self-esteem? These situations like these just bring you down. It makes you realize that you are at your lowest point, or you are at the lowest level in your life. It makes you feel inferior to everybody else around you. It makes you feel bad for yourself, pity on yourself. While all of this is true, and it's okay for you to be in that phase for about a week or two, but after that you need to keep moving forward. You need to build your self-esteem, and how do you build that self-esteem is what will decide your series of events, which series of decisions you're going to take in the future. For not to It's not just to repeat something like this, but also to avoid anything that would lead to this kind of situations. You try to analyze what you've done wrong. You try to, it's hard to get back from that situation, but you have to do it. No matter what has happened, it has happened, and your decisions and your choice was the reason for that to happen. You get back, you realize, you analyze, you make decisions, and moving forward, you move forward with the confidence that you've learned something, not that you've failed something. You've learned, and you want to move forward. You want to face more challenges. You want to see life in a different perspective. You don't want to see the same sad face of yours every day. Nobody wants to see that, and nobody actually cares about that. You being sad, you being happy, doesn't matter. You just move forward, and then build your self-esteem in a way that it's not affecting your future decisions. An attitude that is not overrated or underrated, just the right attitude, planning and moving forward. With this, the next slide is going to be a very, very, very essential topic. What actually brings you out of situations like a learning experience, networking, or having good friends? What exactly is networking? Networking is putting yourself into situations of meeting new people, connecting. I remember Mohan sir during my undergraduation has always told me that you need to keep networking a lot. You need to talk a lot. You need to share a lot. You need to meet new people. And I never really understood the value or the worth. And I definitely did value his words. I tried to do it a little bit during my undergraduation, but not to a very, very far extent. But after coming to Canada, that's what I realized. What is networking? Why should I network? Once I was done my graduation, I thought I should, since I am a University of Alberta. University of Alberta, by the way, is one of the prestigious universities of Canada. It is ranked top 100 in the world. So I am coming from one of the best institutes of the world. Who is not going to offer me a job? That was my attitude when I came out of my graduation in April 2025. Within no time, I realized that this attitude is not going to work. What I was thinking, nobody is giving you a job just because you're a graduate from the University of Alberta. For that matter, you're just because you're a graduate from any college or university. People are going to give you jobs when they realize that you have the skill set, you have the ability, you have the strength to do that job. What does networking actually mean? You meet new people, you make meaningful connections, you keep in touch with people whom you're talking to, and you meet new and more people. Let's say you meet your professor today, and somewhere in between your conversations, you think that this professor might be a very big asset for your future. You create a relationship. You try to you try I would put it, you try to impress him, but not impressing him or her. It would be more like having a meaningful conversation, what truly matters to you, and letting them know who you are and what you can do for to achieve your goal, right? Asking the right questions. Networking always starts with one person. Ask them the right questions. If they don't know the answers, ask them if they could connect you to somebody in their network who would be answering your questions, who would be helping you or who is willing to help you and guide you with your career and with the questions you have, at least in the moment. Just give it a try. I would suggest each one of you to first talk to at least a professor from your college, anybody, your principal. It could be anybody. Just talk to them and get to know. You will get to know about yourself. I'm telling you, that is how I got to know about myself. You ask them the right questions, they're going to give you the right answers. Oftentimes, what happens is we're not utilizing the resources we have. Okay. Next and most crucial step is to market yourself effortlessly. Marketing yourself, I don't mean by, you get to every person and say, oh, I've done this, I've done that, I've done that, I've done that. So please give me a job. No, nobody is giving you a job just because you say what you've achieved. For example, I've done a project, my capstone project, wherein I've researched about 169 papers and then reported and then submitted a draft, um, or submitted a thesis about that report as my capstone project. This is how I portray it. I tell people that I go above and beyond, uh, which is the truth again. I went above and beyond. That was not something that my professor set for me. My professor just asked me to research about 60 papers and give me a report. But I've asked him if there's something more I could do. He said yes. He said if you're doing more papers, that would add more value. That would bring you an opportunity to present a paper. And now that paper is in process for presentation as well. I think we're going to submit it to IEEE. And that's where you go above and beyond. And then I just tell everybody, or when there's a situation, I tell people that I went above and beyond to do this in my undergraduation. That kind of creates an impact. That kind of creates, how do I put it? That creates a picture for your of you in other person's mind. This is just one thing, but there's a lot of things about me that I market to people whom I meet for meaningful connections. Again, making strategic moves, it's just this. You, when you're in conversation with people, you have to know not what exactly, or but what the other person might be interested in knowing about you. What value does that person gets knowing about you? I could put it that way. So, what is the value you're adding to the other person's time about letting yourself speak to him or talk to her, right? This is really important because oftentimes when you start saying, oh, I did this, I did that, I did this, I did that, and all of that, people get annoyed, people get frustrated. Everybody talking to you have their own busy schedules, their own busy lives going on behind the scenes, and they've been going through so much. They don't, they, some, most, what happens when you approach like this, they don't care about you. They just forget about you. But instead, have conversations that value, that pushes you to another level in their mind. So that next time an opportunity shows up, no matter where, they come back to you. And the next important thing is when you utter a word, you want to be positively saying everything in the best possible way. You have to be very optimistic about all the things you speak. This is something I learned, or I'll say I learned from one of the mentoring sessions I had during during my job search period. So one of the mentors actually told me that I'm being I'm being not very optimistic about how I am portraying myself, which made a lot of sense. And every person whom I met after this conversation definitely pointed out and told me that you're being very optimistic about a lot of things. Small, very small advice, but that changed the entire conversation. With that, I'll tell you what the importance of a mentor is. A mentor is somebody who guides you, not just not just because you wanted to be guided, but because they do it. They do it, they wanted to do it. Why? Because somebody has helped them during their early stages to be who they are today, and they want to give back. As a mentee, you choose the mentor. You choose the mentor, and you how okay. The next is how should you choose a mentor, or what should you look in your mentor? Your mentor should be somebody who is willing, who is accepting, who is not taking advantage of your situations, just giving you genuine advice. I've been great that I've had a lot of mentors right from my childhood, right from my schooling up until this date. I would say I have a bunch of mentors whom I always reflect back to whenever I feel low, whenever I feel that I need some guidance in life, be it professional, be it personal, I just approach them. What do you expect? This is what you expect. No expectations is something you have to expect from a mentor. So, by no expectations, what I mean is they might not be giving a solution to every problem or every situation of yours, but they would definitely show you a way. They'll give you light in the darkness for you to find the way to come out of it. That is something you have to expect from your mentors. When there is again, I understand that oftentimes we might be having some disagreements with our mentors, or there might be some kind of behavior that we wouldn't really want from the mentor, reply politely. Just be polite. You don't want to be aggressive. You don't want to be, because the other person holds a standard. They hold a power which necessarily doesn't destroy or disturb anything to you, but you would be in their bad thoughts. Just don't let that happen. Just be politely replying over and saying that this is not, try different, putting it in different ways first and then express it to them. That is what I would do. That is what I would do with my mentors when I have a disagreement with them. I would put it in a way, or just put it in a way that this is what I feel about this situation. It has nothing to do, or it, or I don't mean to offend or do anything. I'm not getting aggressive over the decision you have, but this is just my opinion. Put it forward that way, politely. Just try to finish it off as politely as possible. And do maintain and build and then maintain a healthy professional relation. Healthy professional relation, by which I mean not just approaching your mentors, telling them about sort of you facing situations like, I am down, I need your support, or this is what is happening in my career right now, what would you suggest? It's not just about these things. It's about giving them your updates, letting them know your progress. Set a time, set a calendar date every month. At one point of every month, let's say 15th of July, 15th of every month, I'm going to update my mentors whom I think add value to my career. I would just send them a progress that this is what I've been doing and this is what is going on in my life. This not just, often mentors are people who have a very busy schedules. They are very big professionals. They don't have time to always remember you. So this is one way how you remind yourself to them. And also you're being very polite and very mindful of that, right? It means that you are giving value and importance to that relation. What role does a mentor play in my career? Very big role, very big, crucial role. One of my mentors I met after coming to Canada is one of the reasons I landed up into a job in Canada. It's not easy to find a mentor like that, but you have to put in your efforts again to get to that mentor, to that one right mentor. There might be just one right mentor, but your efforts to get to that right mentor is what matters. And building a relation, maintaining that relation with that mentor is all that matters. With this, I would like to give you a quote. I'm not sure if this quote is anywhere else, but this is something that just came to my mind when I was preparing this PPT. The ability to be fearless is to build resilience to look past the fear, which I think one of you have already expressed it. It's not about thinking what has happened, but about thinking what should be happening or how do we overcome it in the future. And thank you all for your time. You could connect with me on LinkedIn. I've given you my email. That's my university email. Please feel free to connect to me if you do have any questions. I'm open now.
Thank you, ma'am. As we come to the close of this inspiring session, on behalf of SA Engineering College, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to Ms. Mrudula Gupta for sharing your remarkable journey and valuable insights with us today. Your session on building confidence for a successful engineering journey has inspired us to believe in ourselves, embrace challenges, and pursue our goals with confidence and determination. I also express my sincere gratitude to the management of SA Engineering College, our respected principal, our esteemed head of the department, our faculty members, the organizing committee, and the technical team for making today's program a grand success. A special word of thanks to all the students who participated in today's session. Thank you all once again for your enthusiastic participation. Have a wonderful day, and we wish you every success in your engineering journey.
Thank you all.
Before we conclude, I kindly request everyone to fill out the feedback form that will be shared in the chat.